on, guys? It's Ben Jammin from Nerds Geeking Out. Today I'm going to bring you the top 10 video game sequels of all time. This top 10 list is my personal choice of video game sequels that I believe are the best video game sequels of all time. If you don't agree with this list, put your list in the comments below. We'll discuss if your list was better than mine. So without further ado, let's kick this puppy off. Number 10, Gex 2 Enter the Gecko. Gex 1 was a cool game. You had voice actors telling jokes while this little gecko was jumping across a 2D style stage, but it just really didn't have the same effect that Gex 2 did. Gex 2 came out for the PlayStation 1, totally outsold its predecessor, and had a much larger 3D environment for Gex to explore. He got stuck in TV land, and this awarded him an opportunity to explore really odd areas that you wouldn't go to in normal games. So he went into a cartoon world, he went into a horror movie world, he went into a Chinese kung fu world. There was a lot of cool areas in this game to explore and have fun with, and each level was its own TV channel, which really enhanced the whole Gex was in the TV world kind of aspect. His wisecracks and jokes seemed to be better fit for the 3D environment than they were the 2D environment, because he was reacting more to everything that was happening around him.
So this is Never Never Land. We'd never guess it from the outside.
Number 9, Mortal Kombat 2. Mortal Kombat was an amazing achievement for fighting games. It had blood, gore, fatalities, it had a cheat code. But how do you make Mortal Kombat better? You make a sequel to it and you up the ante. More fatalities, more characters, animalities, babyalities, friendships, better pit stages, secret stages, unlockable. A ton more things for you to play with and experience. And it was just as good on the Sega Genesis as it was on the SNES, unlike the first Mortal Kombat, which eliminated all the blood and gore on the SNES, leaving the Sega Genesis one for everybody that want to play more. Number 8, Mega Man 2. Mega Man 2 one-upped where Mega Man came from and made it a lot cooler. It introduced the energy tank, which we all know and love to this day. Also had those cool little submarines you can travel around in. Also, it is the highest selling Mega Man to date. So if that doesn't make this sequel better than the original, I don't even know if it makes anything better than this game, considering it's the highest selling one in the series. Let's see if any more Mega Man games can outsell it, but for right now, Mega Man 2 takes the cake on that sequel list. Number 7, Doom 2. Doom 2 really didn't do much to improve on what Doom 1 already had. Demons, shooting, explosions, killing, a lot of cool stuff like that. But what Doom 2 did was it gave us the funnest weapon we all love, the double barrel shotgun. Just BLAM! Killing that demon. BLAM! Killing that demon. And also Doom 2 eliminated the episodic release, so Doom 1 was released in episodes on discs, where Doom 2 was released on one episode, an entire game on one disc, which made it a lot easier to play from beginning to end without having to buy each episode. It was a really cool game, really ahead of its time, and it's been released on every platform to this day. Mobile phones, Game Boys, Genesis, SNES, N64, still to this day they keep remaking Doom 2 because it is that good. Number 6, Super Mario Brothers. A lot of people don't realize there was a game before Super Mario Brothers. It was just called Mario Brothers. Pretty basic game, pretty simple. You and your friend jump around and blah 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 blah. Super Mario Brothers was much cooler. You got power-ups, you got more enemies, you have consistent levels, you have a storyline. It was a really cool game and a really good follow-up to the arcade game. So it's not necessarily a full sequel, but it did come in number 2 in the series, so therefore on my list it is a sequel and it still is way better than the original game. Number 5, Half-Life 2. This game came out in 2004. 2004! Tell me another game that came out in 2004 is still played to this day. Can't think of one, neither can I. Half-Life 2 just upped the ante of the original Half-Life. More enemies, better weapons, way better graphics, more interactive environment, and still to this day it has been modded and modded and modded to be able to keep playing all the way through new supercomputers from the original computers that people originally played on. Now, does this mean Half-Life 3 is confirmed? Highly doubt it. Half-Life 2 also sold 12 million copies. Holy shit, that's a lot of bread. I don't know why they never came out with Half-Life 3 because of that. I mean, think how many copies Half-Life 3 would sell. Number 4, Warcraft II. What do you do when you take a game of humans versus orcs that's an RTS? You up the ante. Multiplayer, air units, naval units, and you still add in the orcs versus humans. The graphics were upped, the gameplay was upped, everything was upped. It was a much larger game on a larger scale. Along with StarCraft, Warcraft II made Battle.net the place to play. You can also bring your friends over and have massive LAN battles. Warcraft 2 just one-upped everything Warcraft 1 had. It didn't have the graphics and interactive story as much as Warcraft 3 did, but Warcraft 3 really didn't play as much as an RTS that Warcraft 2 did. So Warcraft 2 definitely outshined Warcraft 1 in that aspect, and definitely deserves a spot on this list. Number 3, Resident Evil 2. How do you up one of the greatest survival horror games of all time? Well, you take it out of the mansion and put it into the city. Resident Evil already had a storyline for 2 individuals, but the problem was the storyline wasn't very different between the 2 of them. The gameplay kind of changed a little bit, but the story didn't so much. Take Resident Evil 2. You have 2 completely different people who have 2 completely different skill sets and 2 completely different stories that will intertwine together. Also, it had 4 ways to play, with 2 different episodes for each player, and it introduced a survival mode which introduced Hunk, which everyone loves to play as. Better weapons, more environments to explore, bigger enemies. Resident Evil 2 upped the ante, and since then the game's kind of slid downhill slowly, so I think Resident Evil 2 is the peak, pinnacle, and that's definitely why it's on this list. Number 2. What's the greatest fighting game of all time? Time's up. Street Fighter II. The first Street Fighter wasn't that big of a game. It was pretty popular over in Asia, but in America no one really cared about it. So Capcom released Street Fighter II. Name another game that has been re-released, like, I don't know how many times, and still kept the core of the game in its entirety. Street Fighter II was an amazing fighting game. Combos, traveling the world and fighting people, the car stage. It brought fighting genre games to consoles, and it gave an entire new generation of people a reason to invite their friends over and beat the living hell out of them virtually. Street Fighter II, definitely better than Street Fighter 1. Number 1, I'm gonna get a lot of crap for this one, but I'm going with it anyways. Sonic the Hedgehog Part 2. Or Sonic 2. Sonic 1 was a fun game, but it was really short, and the music was good, but it wasn't that memorable. Sonic 2 one-upped that. They introduced Tails, they introduced a co-op mode that you can play together or competitively with the races. They also introduced more levels. They upped the ante by adding in a lot harder environments for Sonic to go. The charge was added, so you can lay on the ground, pump Sonic up, and charge him through the level and get faster speeds and go through obstacles that you normally couldn't go through in the other games. Yeah, a lot of people think Sonic 3 was better, but Sonic 3 kind of lost the feel of a Sonic game. They added too many power-ups, they added too many levels, too many things, and it focused too much on, like, maybe what would Knuckles do? And then they had to do Sonic and Knuckles to bring Knuckles in. Sonic 2 kept the spirit of Sonic, made it work, and to this day it is the best game ever released on the Sega Genesis. So there you have it, guys. That is my top 10 video game sequel list. Please tell me what your video game sequels are. Go ahead and put them in down here at the bottom. And remember to like, subscribe, and share to your friends. Stick around, check out some of our roundtable discussions. You want to learn about the Sega Genesis, the NES, you want to learn about some zombies, we have roundtable discussions about those subjects too. Watch those videos, you might learn something. But definitely stick around for some more top 10 videos we have coming your way. This is Ben Jammin signing off. Thanks for watching.